Okay, day 159 of Nofap. Just clocking in another day and make another update video. I'm not driving to work. 6:38. Usually it takes me about like 27 minutes to get there, so I may be a few minutes late, but it's a Friday and just got paid. And I've been doing relatively well. I actually took care of all my maintenance stuff yesterday when it was, assigned, so I don't have to really be worrying about that today or, working on that today. So, but I know I checked the schedule and I'm technically speaking assigned to work with quote unquote the girl. It's not that big of a deal. I'm just gonna be chill about things, focus on my work. That sort of deal. So in all honesty, even if you're dealing with an attractive woman, it's kind of you gotta kind of get beyond the beauty of the girl, and I think that's probably the healthiest, best way forward. I mean, especially since this is at a place of employment, it's at my job, so that constant reminder of I'm here to make money, Now, if there's some attractive women there and we hit it off and one thing leads to another, well, great. But as long as it doesn't get in the way of me remaining, gainfully employed and actually making a living and taking care of my four walls, and my debts and all that kind of stuff, then okay. But I'm looking forward to the weekend. Last night, again, I just went to sleep. I didn't really do anything. During the day yesterday, I got that other assignment done. I think it was that was on Wednesday, I think it was, yeah. But I guess what I'm finding is that if I can, even if it's a few minutes here and there, where I can actually work on an assignment or get that done during the day when I'm sitting at my desk, or shortly after work I stay for a few hours extra at most. I find I'm more productive than waiting until I get home when I'm already exhausted. I'm just I'm not even necessarily exhausted, but I'm just tired or kind of wound up from work and wanting to unwind. And by the time I actually get to the point of okay, I can go and work on something else, it's usually a case of 7:30 or 8, and quote unquote not feeling it at that point, So with that in mind, I think I'm gonna try and work on these things when I'm at work, when I have a spare moment. And a lot of these problems, they're not, I don't know, I don't want to say they're not complicated. They are, but it's sort of I guess the expectation is you're supposed to get to the point where you can do these things in 15 minutes or something like that. So maybe it's a bit of practicing about being under a time crunch, getting to sort of hack away at things. But so next week is spring break actually, so I don't technically have class, but I'll have work, but I won't have class. And because of that, I'll have obviously more time. But that means I also gotta get certain things done, because the week after that we have the midterm. So basically, it's kind of roughly 2 weeks from now, I'll have that midterm. And usually 2 weeks is enough time to get ready. And I don't know if I have a pre-lecture quiz next week or any of that sort of stuff, but usually that's enough time to get ready if I do my work. I need to get through all of the problem sets that he's given to us, and then I need to go start creating my own problem sets. Stuff from the textbook, that sort of deal, and just start knocking stuff out. I might not get all of them done by the time the exam rolls around, but if I've at least done all the problems I could think I could possibly do, way more than the usual, then I'll at least go in there feeling prepared. And again, this class seems to be shaping up to be kind of the one of those classes where the grade is not so much determined by where you stand on the grading scale as much, but more so like where you stand in relation to your fellow classmates. So if God forbid the exam average was in the 50s and you're in the 60s, then you might just be getting a B, that sort of deal. But I don't want to take that to an extreme in terms of mindset and be like, oh, well, that means that, I can just, bomb that exam and everything will be A-okay. I don't want to be like that. I still want to be making that extra effort. For obvious reasons. I've talked in the past about what grade standards I have to meet, because I'm not just trying to, just pass the class like you would in undergrad. This is like towards graduate school. So the standards are definitely higher. And I really, really, really want to get into that program. Like I said, I could just keep, chugging along at this job, maybe get a few certifications and end up in an engineering position, but it's not going to be as fulfilling as if I had a master's degree and I was able to pivot from this into more of what would be like my dream job, like in neural tissue engineering. Even if I was quote unquote just an engineer, in that field, that'd be like way more fulfilling. It's something that I really wanted to be involved in. Even if I was just doing research or, that sort of stuff, or even if I was just troubleshooting machines that were used in the process, that'd be fulfilling enough, because just what they're doing in that field. And it's something that I think I followed since the late 90s, and I know back in the 80s it was like that's when it was first like codified, like as far as a term, and like they started having considered research efforts in that field. That's when they started developed. But I remember reading about that back in like the late 90s, early 2000s. And I think it was popular mechanics or popular science, and like being like, man, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to get involved with. And if you read about it, it sounds real sci-fi, but it's becoming more and more of a reality. And like I definitely want to be doing that. So I gotta take care of what I gotta take care of. So yeah. But like I said, I'm driving to work. Now it's 6:47, and I need to switch lanes because we're going kind of slow over here. But try and get there as soon as I can. Try to be as little late as I can. And I think I got some extra thread hanging off the side of my jacket. It's kind of touching on my ear, and it's kind of making me like, yeah. But got paid today, and take care of some bills. I'm trying to figure out how certain things work on my Apple laptop. It's a MacBook Pro or something like that, but so I like to take screenshots of like when I pay my bill, and then I save the screenshot and send it to myself, or save it to my laptop or whatever, and keep that as a record. But yeah, if I keep taking care of business, I keep getting paid like this, do some overtime here and there, build up those hours, but make that money. I could have the loan that I'm working on right now. I could have that paid down to about the halfway mark, and well, after this paycheck, you get like 2 more paychecks, so about a month, and obviously be like updating my uncle on things because he's going to sign on to the loan. He's like the co-signer, so I like email him about that and be like, hey, here's the status of things and where stuff is at, but yeah, just knocking down those bills, knocking down that debt, and probably, that'll call for another Journey Out of Debt video. Just like a quick update sort of thing. So once I take care of that, but I don't know what else is there to talk about. I mean, I suppose I could sort of respond to some of the comments. Look, if you weren't mean to call me a simp, then why'd you call me a simp? If you're claiming that you're not calling somebody names or whatever, or attacking them, then why are you attacking them? That's sort of like my my question back to a certain someone. I don't want it to be personal because this channel really isn't about that. It's not about mudslinging, and if anybody's trying to sort of take over my channel, turn it into another vehicle for them to get attention for themselves, well, then I'll have to do something. Maybe it's either deleting comments or blocking someone or so, but it's like I'm all for constructive criticism because there's always going to be something, or obviously will be something that I can work on, or we as individuals can work on and improve. That's just like kind of the nature of life, Even if you think everything's perfect, you think you got it all down, like there's something out there you could probably be working on, So I'm all for constructive criticism, but throwing around terms like simp or it's another one. Oh, the C-U-C-K, I'll spell it out. I don't really I don't really like throwing these out there, not just because I don't agree with their overusage, but because, in all honesty, I think that they've lost the original meaning, gained a new meaning that's basically just, hey, I want to insult you, so I'm going to call you this word, which, doesn't mean what I think it means, or didn't originally mean what I now want it to mean, and I think that does a lot of damage to any sort of conversation, a productive conversation that could be had about these topics when things just degenerate into a mudslinging contest, and so that's I think that's sort of my response to that. Other than that, the whole taking pills comment, well, you'd have to go read up on the red pill and the rational male, and Aaron Clary's works as well. Anything about Rollo Tomassi, Aaron Clary, Rich Cooper. I think he just recently published a book. But just reading up on the red pill, it's a term. It's a slang term. I don't really feel like going into that, red pill 101 stuff right now, because I'm not really like the expert. I'm not the godfather of that, or I'm just some dude who got exposed to it, and it explained a lot of things for me, and it's helped me in my life, and it comes up in conversation, obviously, because I'm sort of analyzing a lot of stuff in my life through that lens. And I'm not literally taking pills. I'm being metaphorical. Anybody who is coming across this content for the first time, they probably don't know who Rollo Tomassi is, or Rich Cooper, or Aaron Clary, or else, Rhinestone, etc. But yeah, it's just the whole red pill or manosphere. You go look that up. Obviously, like there's probably gonna be a lot of articles out there attacking it or misconstruing, quotes or things people have said, or oh, can you believe these people said this thing, and they're so terrible or so horrible, or putting like all sorts of negative basically slurs, slinging mud at them. But I don't know. If you really want to learn about it, there's enough people out there to learn about it from. But yeah, no, I'm not literally taking pills. It's a metaphor. It's a term. Yeah, but I don't know. I suppose I could eventually get into talking about I guess the stuff that I feel impinges on politics and culture or current affairs or so. When it comes to like the use of these terms and what it really says about people, or it says about not even like people, but just like not people as individuals per se, but more like the wider society. I suppose I could make a video talking about that, but that's like kind of leaning into controversy and look, like if someone like Dark Magician is being shadow banned because YouTube thought he made some disrespectful comments or whatever, I mean, I wonder what kind of response I'd get if I started talking about, that sort of stuff. Especially when it's not like I have a million, subscriber base, and I'm not some big name kind of a guy who, like, if they went after me, it would be like, can you believe they went after this guy? He's so popular, all people like him, and he's got his followers, and like, how could they shut him down? It's like I'm just some like basically some no-name guy who has a small channel on YouTube. Currently 86 subscribers. It fluctuates, it goes up and down, but roughly that number. It's not like I'm some guy with 1 million subscribers and a huge number of folks following me or like watching my content every day. I don't log in and see like, oh, your video got 50,000 views. It's like that doesn't happen. So it's kind of like, okay, all they would have to do is just basically like flip the off switch, and then bam, there goes my channel. And really, this channel has been sort of like an outlet for me. As much as I may end up getting into discussing certain topics, it's only been sort of like insofar as my life can act as a case study for talking about those topics, and I can just discuss this issue or that issue and go, hey, here's an example of it in my life, or those who wish to provide constructive criticism or helpful comments, that sort of thing, or just places like moral support, they can comment on things, and maybe just the whole, like, me working through this stuff myself, and maybe somebody sees that, hey, this guy's gone through something similar, and he worked his way through it, and here's what he did. Maybe I can take that strategy myself, kind of like sharing notes, like that if that's the results from this then it's like even more of a positive. But I'm not here to really stir up controversy or put stuff out there like that just to sort of, what was that term we used to have back in the late 90s, early 2000s, a flame war? I don't think people use that term anymore, but it was just kind of like a flame war would be like if somebody put out some sort of controversial content, or they made some comment on early social media, or like on some message board, and somebody got ticked off at that. They started throwing basically mudslinging at them, and then the person would mudsling back, and it'd be called like a flame war. I'm not here to start one of those. That doesn't interest me. So okay, just get one more lane over. I don't know why, but Highway to the Danger Zone started playing in my head as I was trying to navigate through all this traffic. Kind of felt like I was playing it dangerously. Trying to sort of maneuver around a bunch of cars. But I'm making better time than I thought I was going to make. I thought I was going to be 10 minutes late, but I may be 3, 4, 5 minutes late. Sorry, I need to take a scissor to the side of my jacket because there's something hanging off there and it's bugging me. You get that sensation that there's some insect crawling on you or so, but then you realize, nah, it's not an insect after the third or fourth time of reaching out there to whatever, flick your ear. But what else? But yeah, like I said, I could get into all that controversy. It's kind of interesting how something as simple as not fapping for so many days, how vlogging about that, and even just getting into that whole process, how it impinges upon or it crosses over into so many different topics, because you see people's responses to that. You see how some people respond very positively or negatively or indifferently to the fact that you got through so many days of not fapping, basically, and that what it says about society or culture when it comes to something that is a problem for you or the problem for a lot of people. And you see okay, so for instance, you could say okay, how many guys out there, if we could accurately document it, would be considered PMO addicts? And then going, okay, so if let's say the number was huge, let's say it was God forbid 90% of all guys or 95% of all guys were PMO addicts, somehow, or they had that compulsion or whatever. Then it'd be okay, well, what does it say about society, culturally, politically, etc., that we have this, apparently this huge problem, but nobody's doing anything about it, or it's treated as a joke, or it's treated as just some disgusting sort of thing that we shouldn't discuss or talk about, or you keep that to yourself, bro. Nobody wants to know about that. That whole discussion about what does it say about society, then it kind of ends up crossing over to a lot of way more controversial topics, which it's kind of interesting, but at the same time it's sort of like I said, unless you're some big time content creator, you got millions of followers, I suppose you have to sort of weigh the pros and cons of crossing over into that sort of territory, especially since with all these videos, it's not like I've sat here with a mask on or done just voiceovers, on with some background image, and then people have to guess who I am, or I have some some sort of speech robot program where the the voice people hear is not actually my voice, you know, sort of a thing. Like, I know some content creators and sort of the quote-unquote manosphere, what they do, they, you know, basically do a sort of a fake voice thingamajigger so that they, you know, can't get doxxed or whatever. If somebody, God forbid, felt like doxing them, which is the concern, really. But, anywho, I'm here now. Got all my stuff. I'm gonna go in. Got here earlier than I thought I was gonna get, but anyways, Nofap day 159, and I'll see you folks around. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.